My name is Kenzie with Gypsy Yoga by Kenzie. Today we're going to follow along with our alignment series and move into up dog. Up dog is a great position to do to really work on stretching your back muscles, your shoulder muscles, your ab muscles, and your leg muscles as well. Up dog is a little bit more of an advanced pose. So a modification of up dog would be Cobra, which we touched on last week. I will leave that video right here for you. So if you are struggling with up dog, I would recommend taking a step back and do a Cobra pose or two to get used to the feeling before you move into up dog. The Sanskrit word for upward dog is Urdhva Mukha Shavasana. Urdhva means upward, Mukha means facing, and Shiva means dog, and asana means pose, so upward facing dog pose. Pretty much in upward dog, it is pretty much all the same muscles that are working and stretching, but you're going to add in some leg action. So pretty much to warm this up, we will start in Cobra Pose, and if you want to learn Cobra Pose, refer to my video last week in the alignment series playlist. So let's go ahead and get started in Cobra Pose. So place your hands on the mat right on the outsides of your rib cages. Press your elbows together, roll your shoulders away from your ears. Press into the mat really firm and with the tops of your feet into the mat, lifting your knees up off the ground. Take one breath in, one breath out. And on your inhale, go ahead and press into the mat firmly with your feet and your hands and lift your chest up into the air, keeping your elbows squeezed at your rib cage. This is Cobra Pose, keeping the tops of your hips on the ground, pressing into the mat with the tops of your feet, rolling your shoulders away. This is Cobra Pose, so you can feel it's a little bit tense on your lower back. So referring to my other video on Cobra Pose, if this is too much, you can drop it back down into a baby cobra or a sphinx pose, okay? But since we are in Cobra Pose, we're gonna hold this for 2 breaths. Looking straight ahead of you, making sure your elbows are at your rib cage. Your shoulders are away from your ears, and go ahead and exhale. Come all the way down into a resting position. Hands go by your sides. The side of your face rests on the mat. Taking one deep breath in and one deep breath out. And now we're going to move into upward dog. So we're pretty much going to start the same way, taking your hands on the sides of your rib cage, pressing your shoulders away from your ears and your elbows together, pressing into the mat firmly with the tops of your feet, lifting your knees. So pretty much you're going to go into Cobra and move into an upward dog. So let me show you first. So I'm pressing into the mat. This is Cobra. To do an upward dog, pretty much you're going to press firmly into the mat with the tops of your feet to lift your legs up in the air, and you're going to move forward just a little bit. So your shoulders are a little bit over your wrists. This is upward dog. So your legs are off of the ground. Your shoulders are away from your ears. Your arms are straight. In Cobra Pose, your arms are bent and your hips and legs are on the ground. So do you see the difference? So it pretty much works all the same muscles, but we're adding the legs in. So we're gonna try it together. When you get into Cobra Pose, press into the mat firmly with your feet and kind of hinge forward so your shoulders are over your wrists. So we're gonna try this again. So take your hands beside your rib cage, pressing your elbows together, tops of feet into the ground firmly, lifting your knees, rolling your shoulders away from your ears, looking straight ahead. On your inhale, go ahead and press into the mat, lifting into Cobra Pose. Now a Cobra Pose is as far as you can go, that's perfectly fine. So taking one breath here, and And on your next inhale, press harder into the mat with your hands and your feet, lifting your legs up off the ground and rolling slightly forward so your shoulders are over your wrists. This is upward dog. One breath, and go ahead and exhale, come back down all the way into a resting position. So you can definitely feel how intense the up dog is on your lower back. So make sure you are doing it correctly so that way you don't injure your back. So as you roll, so the reason why we roll forward on our wrists, so our shoulders are above our wrists, is because it gives it a little bit more room for our back to stretch. So unlike in Cobra Pose, we're right here. Our elbows are bent. It kind of gives it not as big stretch in our back, but when we press into an up dog and go forward a little bit, and our hips kind of sink towards the ground, it really deepens that stretch. So if we had our arms straight and we tried to keep our legs on the ground, that is not very healthy for your lower back. And you can see that your shoulders are kind of wanting to go into your ears, which is not good as well. So when you roll forward, your shoulders want to go away from your ears more, which is exactly what you want. All right, guys, so we're gonna try this one more time together, and we'll go from baby cobra to cobra, all the way up into up dog, and then after up dog, we will sit back in child's pose. Okay, so starting on our stomachs, taking our hands right at our rib cage, pressing our elbows and shoulders away, pressing into the mat firmly with the tops of your feet, lifting your knees up off the ground. Squeezing our abs here as well, right? That kind of helps too. So take one breath in, one breath out. On your next inhale, press into the mat firmly with your hands, lifting your chest up into the air for cobra. One breath in, one breath out. On your next inhale, press into the mat with your hands and your feet, lifting your legs up off the ground for an upward facing dog. Holding for one breath, and as you exhale, go ahead and release and push back into a child's pose, spreading your knees out wide, feet together, sitting back on your heels and stretching your arms up above your head. So child's pose is sort of a counter pose for any back bend. So maybe you're practicing cobra or up dog a few times and your back bend and your back is starting to feel a little bit stiff, then go ahead and take a rest, take a couple breaths in child's pose, or any forward fold will do as well. So the reasons that you may want to avoid doing upward dog is pretty much the same as cobra as well. If you have shoulder injury, wrist injury, or a lower back injury. Now you know how to do a plank to chaturanga to a cobra or up dog. I hope this video helped you, and if it did, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you would like to see further demonstrations of yoga poses like this in my alignment series playlist and yoga sequences weekly. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you next time.